Hey everyone, Franklin here. Good to be back in the noisy old studio. There is, as usual, a whole lot of lifting and dropping of things, very heavy things happening outside my door. So let's see how far I can get before it sounds like there are several Brontosauruses trying to break down the door. Oh, Brontosauruses they're not a real dinosaur anymore. That's right, I always forget about that. It's a shame. Brontosaurus was always my big fave as a kid. You know, all the other kids in my class were T-Rex people, and I was all about the Brontosaurus. They were just, so curvy and cute, and it was sort of like they were like the puppy dogs of the dinosaur world, it seemed to me. And I didn't want a dinosaur that fought everything. I wanted a dinosaur that just hung around and ate plants and was nice. That's what I wanted. Anyway, so yeah, Brontosauruses. That's a shit. They're like the Saint Christopher of dinosaurs. Anyway, knitting. Yeah. So if you have sharp eyes and you've been tuning in for a while, you will notice this is the linen stitch scarf, which continues to be my fill in the gaps projects. I am excited, however, to report that I have been able to finish up and block the swatch for the new saddle shoulder sweater that I want to do for myself. And when I say finish the swatch, I mean I really did take my time and make it the kind of swatch that it needed to be. I actually have some video footage of it, very exciting. So if all goes well, you will be seeing that as I talk about this. It has a sizable section that is nothing but plain stockinette stitch, and that's where I will get my basic gauge readings from. It has a very, very healthy sample of the traveling twisted stitch. Sometimes you hear it called Bavarian twisted stitch or Austrian twisted stitch. It's in the general category that in German is called STRICKMUSTER, meaning, as I understand it, decorative knitting. Apologies for my German pronunciation, by the way. It's really bad, I understand. I'm always trying to make it better. And so there's the twisted stitch section. And then finally, a section where I tested the kind of ribbing that I want to do. And it is not special ribbing. It is just knit one, purl one ribbing. But even things like that, I like to test them. If I am not in a galloping rush, actually, even if I am in a galloping rush, I want to test even those simple things. I want to see, well, how does it look with the needles and yarn? Because I had, in the new swatch, done what I figured I was going to have to do, which is I went down several needle sizes, no, 2 needle sizes, to a US 2. So this sweater will be knit on a size US 2 needle. And it's funny. You really shouldn't judge a swatch until you've really knit enough of it to be sure of it. But from maybe the second round of knitting the stockinette, having gone down needle sizes, I could tell this is so much better. The fabric no longer felt flimsy. I was never suspicious that it might be a little too open to look good and to show up the pattern. And I'm very delighted that particularly after I wet blocked the swatch, the yarn bloomed and it softened, and it was exactly the yarn. That's the stone soup from Bare Naked Wools. Exactly the yarn that I had fallen in love with in a sample that Ann Hansen had with her when we met and started talking about her yarns. So I have that mapped out. But then I also had an idea, and we'll see how far this goes. But the guide that I will be using to knit this saddle shoulder sweater to fit, I'm going to hold back on talking about it until I've actually dived in and knit a fair amount of the sweater. Then I'll tell you what it is, because I want to see how good it is before I put it out there. And it's really funny. Anything that you talk about in this venue, people assume that you're recommending it. So I don't know if I recommend it or not. I'm very hopeful, but I'm not sure. But it's the first time that I have used it. I guess is what I'm trying to say at length. And so I had this idea, which is the stone soup is a fingering weight, knit on a 2. And even for a short dude like me, that is going to be a sweater that is going to take a while to finish, and that's fine. But I also have wound back up into balls this really beautiful yarn from Plucky Knitter. And I don't even have the name of which base it is, but it's this beautiful rich brown yarn that partially turned into a sweater that was then demolished and put back into wound up balls in the naughty corner until I could figure out what to do with it. Now, it is much closer to a DK weight, and so my thought is that I would, at the same time, knit an absolutely plain vanilla version of this saddle shoulder sweater, because you can change the gauge and therefore change the pattern. So I would knit a plain sweater in the heavier yarn, and at the same time knit the fancier version in the finer yarn. And so that way, when I go to knit the fancier version, in theory, I will have sort of had a dress rehearsal with the thicker yarn. And since the thicker yarn will knit up more quickly, I should be able to tick along, again, theoretically, through the pattern without a lot of time or difficulty. I can't believe I just said that out loud. You realize I've just cursed myself, like right here on camera in front of you all. I have just, something's going to happen. The yarn is going to spontaneously combust or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, so that's my idea. It would actually kind of be like this little sweater duet or sweater race, with one sweater chasing the other as I knit both of them. Now, this could be a fun thing, and this could be an educational thing, and this could be a cool thing, or this could also be an absolutely frustrating disaster. And I'm going to try it, and whichever way it goes, I'm going to let you know, because that's something that I have always enjoyed doing, wherever I was doing it, in a lecture, in a classroom, on social media. You see an awful lot of perfection. And, you, for example, you look at Instagram and you scroll, and everything that you see is perfect. Everyone is perfect. Every life is perfect. Every project is perfect. And I kind of cope with my failures, and they are many, by, in part by putting them out there, saying, okay, this is what I tried, and will you look at what happened here? Because it's okay. Because then, I either admit defeat and say, yeah, this is just not happening, or I try to find my way back out of the ditch. And I like to share that too. So, if you're enjoying watching what I do, you're going to see a fair amount of failure on here. And we're back, because as a matter of fact, a Brontosaurus did charge directly into the wall of my studio, which happens from time to time. And it's always interesting. I have had to put some things back on shelves now because of that. You might be asking yourself, so why do you record in that space? Well, at the moment, it's what I've got. So it's either here or nowhere. And I'm having a good time. I know that the background noises can be awfully distracting, and I wish they weren't there. But at the same time, I really am enjoying doing this, and there's enough people watching that it seems like you're enjoying it too. So when I can find a quieter space, I will use it, and until then, it's me and you and the Brontosauruses. And, probably forever, this scarf. Am I ever going to finish this? That would be, great clickbait, right? Like, I'm learning now that on YouTube, you're supposed to have, like, clickbait titles. And so the title for that one could be, like, Knitter collapses in despair, or you won't believe what happened to this knitter while he knit a linen stitch scarf. I have to work on my clickbait. I don't think I'm very good at that yet. So Anyhow, what was I talking? Oh, the sweaters. Yeah, so 2 sweaters, one kind of chasing the other, and we'll see how it goes. I'm feeling optimistic that I can at least get 1 sweater out of it, and that's okay by me. You know, if I cast on 2 and 1 gets finished, I'll still have 1 more sweater than I had before. And this, by the way, in case you're wondering at all, not my knitting. This is so store-bought. And see, this is getting embarrassing. I have got to have something knitted to wear and show you all. So apparently, the Brontosauruses are having a mosh pit today outside my door. So I think it's probably best for all parties concerned if I end this now, bid you a fond farewell, and we'll try to do this again soon while the Brontosauruses are, maybe next week while they're having an afternoon nap or something like that. I'll see you again. In the meantime, there will be, I hope, some more video content because I'm constantly working on other stuff besides the vlogs now too. So everyone take care, stay safe, be well, be good to yourselves, and be good to everyone else too. All right? Until next time. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel so you'll be the first to know about future episodes. Click like or leave me a comment to let me know your thoughts. And if you really, really liked what you saw, check out my Patreon campaign, where my patrons enjoy exclusive access to downloads, live streams, and other bonus material every week.